LA Raiders back on their heels on defense. No score in this game. Broncos with the ball. First and goal after a third down incompletion. But then a first down for the Broncos and a personal foul call against the Raiders. Here's Perriman, not much. Ricky Ellison, the inside linebacker, middle backer, makes the stop. New players come on the field. Trump with the new play.
Yeah, this is not a 5-4 defense as you're looking to Greg Lewis coming in there, the young rookie from Washington, who has done an excellent job for the Denver Broncos because of the Bobby Humphrey holdout. Kind of a surprise. This has been a great draft for the Denver Broncos in '91. 7 solid contributors to this team.
Dan Reeves, you see the rushing touchdowns allowed. 6 already this season, only 4 all of last season in their 12-4 year. Raiders defense giving up some more. This is the 11th play of the drive, and now a timeout is called. Denver calls a timeout as Elway wants to get some counsel from the sidelines. At the outset of the season, he called all his own plays. Now he calls them primarily on third down. The Denver Broncos, an 11-play drive to this point. This is the 11th play coming up. As they have the ball inside the Raiders' 5-yard line. Second down and goal. Perriman tries the middle. He gets some, but not enough to go in, as he's down to close to the 2-yard line. Thomas Benson came a-hitting.
Don, I think it's interesting that the Raiders' choice down here inside the 5-yard line going with their base defense. The Broncos do so many tricky things down here. Throw it to Sewell. Elway run. There's Dave Adolph. Now he sends in other people. Let's see what kind of defense they get. Now this is the goal line defense they're sending in.
Third and goal from 2 yards out. 3 tight ends in. Elway throws. Timing pattern. A fade pattern. And Shannon Sharp drops the ball.
Should have been caught. Excellent throw.
And what does he do but pull a Bob Trumpy? Actually,
No.
You'd have got that with one hand.
I'd have got that with one hand. See, he's got Jerry Robinson 57 isolated on him. Watch the short arms. Boy, get those. Oh, man. That's right on the money. I mean, they practice that hour after hour after hour. You can't throw it any better. You get the matchup you want. A linebacker on a wide receiver. That's a special play by formation. And he doesn't make the catch.
Raiders will have a moral victory of sorts if they can hold Denver to just 3 points, which Treadwell gives the Broncos. Actually, a 19-yard field goal, shorter than a point after touchdown. So on an extended drive, the Broncos get points, but just 3. David Treadwell now kicks off for the Broncos, a high spinner that carries short. Here comes Jamie Holland, a sprinter from Ohio State. And a sensational special teams play made by a rookie linebacker. Coming up to make the play was Keith Traylor, the 3rd-round draft pick. 3-0 Denver on a 19-yard field goal by David Treadwell after an extended drive. The Broncos' second possession of the first quarter. Now the Raiders, who are without a first down, take over again. Jay Schrader at quarterback, the 10th-ranked passer in the American Conference. Interesting thing about him, Trump, is his winning margin as a starting quarterback. It's phenomenal.
I think he's underrated as a quarterback. He's 49-24 as a starting quarterback.
Handoff goes to Roger Craig as he steps over the defense for the moment. Broncos come hitting hard. A 2- or 3-yard gain by Roger Craig. We'd like to welcome the viewers who have been watching the Steelers and the Bengals. That game decided in the 4th quarter, actually in overtime, Trump. Neil O'Donnell throws to Eric Green for a touchdown.
Tight end is always open.
And the Steelers beat the Bengals, who fall to 1-9. A demise started when Trumpy retired in '77. Although they went to the Super Bowl twice since then. Handoff, Roger Craig. That high leg action. He still has that quick change of pace move, and Roger Craig on a 2nd down and 6 play runs it out to the 28-yard line. He gained about 3.
Power sweep run by the Los Angeles Raiders. This is a team that historically loves to control the line of scrimmage, and of course with a Hall of Fame offensive tackle as your head coach, that is his first priority. Control the line of scrimmage. Bang your opponent. Get him on the ground.
Mecklenburg was the tackler on the last play. Schrader and the Raiders now set up 3rd down and 2. Roger Craig, he's ahead for a Raider 1st down out to the 33-yard line. Randy Robbins, an extra defensive back, and cornerback Tyrone Braxton tackled him. Roger Craig, the Raiders' leading rusher, with 370 yards coming in. As we look at the Miller Genuine Draft 10-minute ticker, Washington laying waste to Atlanta, worse than Sherman. New Orleans beats San Francisco. And the other finals in the one overtime game today. First down and 10. Schrader letting a long ball go, and there's Mervin Fernandez taking it in at the 41-yard line, diving ahead to the 39-yard line. So Jay Schrader and his leading receiver Mervin Fernandez combined on the big hit, a 27-yard gain.
I took advantage of the defense, and something happened here. I'm not sure what. This is Fernandez. They got this zone. Safety out. Fernandez finds the spot right here, and Schrader has time to get it to him. You got to blame this on the safety. He's supposed to rotate out there, and Dennis Smith, number 49, does not get out there in time to defend the ball against Fernandez. Nice pickup, 27 yards. See, Braxton, 34, has got to get a bump on it. Just turns him loose, and Smith doesn't get over there quick enough.
Fernandez with his 37th catch of the year. Flea flicker. Schrader takes a look, lets it fly, trying to run under it is Galton. Schrader did the right thing. He threw it away. Before the game, because the coverage was good, it was interesting, Trump, that Schrader was standing on his goal line before anybody else came out. Just the coaches were walking around out here, and was throwing the ball 65 yards down the field. I think he was sending a message that I can throw deep.
Well, I think they've always known that about Jay Schrader. It's just he's got to throw it to the same color jersey he wears. To Allen, back to Schrader, and you're right. He's covered and covered well, so he just throws it in the end zone. That's about 70 yards in the air. Schrader now 2 of 4 for just 34 yards.
Off to a good start. In the loss at Kansas City, he threw 3 interceptions, 142 yards in returns for the Chiefs on those interceptions. Here's a throw and a catch. Sam Grady, another of the super fast Raider wideouts, takes it down to the 20-yard line. They don't go to Sam often. That's just his 5th catch, but it was good for 20 yards.
Watch the respect that Henderson gives Grady with that world-class speed. He's a good 7 yards deep. Well thrown by Schrader. Before Grady even turns around, you've got to lay off these wide receivers of the Los Angeles Raiders. They're faster than any 2 defensive backs at corner you can find in the NFL.
World-class speed is an overused term. The guy ran college track, a lot of people call world-class speed, but this guy has it, Grady. You see an Olympic gold medal winner in Los Angeles in '84. Throwing a catch to the tight end, Ethan Horton. A short gain down to the 16-yard line as rookie Mike Kroll makes the tackle. Now while we have a moment, let's go to NFL Live in New York. Bob?
All right, Don, down 24-13, 11 points behind in the 4th quarter. Neil O'Donnell rallied the Steelers, and then in overtime, this 26-yarder to the big tight end, Eric Green. They win it 33-27 over the Bengals. O'Donnell threw for 3 touchdowns, 2 at the end of the 4th quarter, and that one in OT. And the Steelers end their 4-game losing streak. Back to Don and Bob.
Thank you, Bob. Right now, it's 2nd down and 6. Here's Roger Craig cutting inside, taking a thunderous hit, but he's down to the 10-yard line. Wyman Henderson, one of the cornerbacks, and Michael Brooks, an inside linebacker, 56. This Brooks is some terrific player from LSU. Bill Arnsparger, former Dolphin defensive coach who would coach at LSU, said Brooks is the best college linebacker he ever saw before he hurt his knee.
Watch the blocking here. Good double-team block right here, which captures the corner for Craig to get outside. This Raider offensive line, they love doing this. Great lead block by Steve Smith on Simon Fletcher's 73. Just enough to again capture the corner. Those linebackers are going to have to start sitting a little wider for the Bronco defense to stop that.
Raiders now in a power set. 3rd down and less than 1. Pitch
Gonna throw.
Marcus is looking. Andrew Glover's the man. He's got it for a Raider touchdown. The rookie from Grambling in the end zone for the first time. Actually, the second touchdown reception. It's only like his third or fourth catch. Dennis Smith was covering as best he could, so Marcus Allen returns to the injury list and throws a touchdown pass.
Boy, you could tell at the outset he was going to throw the ball. He didn't disguise it well at all. Here's Glover. He just goes down. Here's Smith, the man in coverage, and it looks like a sweep. And Allen, who has thrown the ball throughout his career, throws it very well. That's his 5th touchdown pass in his NFL career.
Extra point is up and good by Jeff Jager. And the ball caught by Andrew Glover was the one that a short time earlier was dropped by Shannon Sharp.
Watch 87 go to the ground. The pitch back to Allen. Sets, pats the ball. Looks like your normal quarterback. And actually, Glover makes an excellent catch on a reception, just as you said, similar to the one that Sharp missed. His 4th touchdown pass.
And only the 4th reception of his pro career for Glover, but 2 have been for touchdowns. Now in the ensuing kickoff, the Broncos down the ball in the end zone for a touchback. Alton Montgomery downing it. After a 9-play, 80-yard drive, the Raiders on the right arm of Marcus Allen have taken the lead 7-3. A critically important game. The Raiders got some help today, as if you look at them as a wild card contestant. The Jets, who were 5-4 also at the outset of the day, were upset by the Colts by a point, and the Jets now 5-5. Highly probable that 3 playoff teams will again come out of the AFC West. There's 4 top contenders: Denver, Kansas City, the Raiders, and Seattle. Seattle is trailing at San Diego 7-0 in a Marion Butts touchdown run. Elway on first down. Here comes the heat. Screens it off. But there's too much pressure, and Benson, a linebacker, Trump, almost had a play on it.
That was ugly from the outset. Ball intended for Greg Lewis. Read well by the Raiders defense. There was just nobody there. That one took an awful long time to set up.
Art Shell talking about the AFC West. He said we keep knocking each other off. Denver beats Kansas City. We beat Denver. Kansas City beats us. It goes on and on.
It's a tough division. Always has been.
And a tough start so far for Elway, as you see his numbers. Just 29 yards on 2 completions. Ready to pump again. Timing throw. Those quick feet come in handy here for Gentleman John as he lets it rip long. Nobody near it. Incomplete at the 43-yard line in the general direction of a rookie tight end, Reggie Johnson.
Yeah, but how many quarterbacks have you ever seen play the game? Roll left, set up, throw it all the way back across the field.
That's what the Raiders were talking about yesterday. You got to cover the whole field when he goes left, because he's the only guy who can get it all the way back the other way deep. This is excellent coverage by the Raiders. You see how many places he's looking around, and then finally back all the way across the field. Incomplete pass. Ronnie Lott, he's all over that receiver. Who is that? Michael Young? No, that's Russell, the rookie. That's a veteran getting away with a little shirt tail action there. Whatever's fair. Here's Elway now on 3rd down and 10. Throw and a strike. Gets a first down. Jackson turns upfield, gets to the 40. A 20-yard gain on a 3rd down and 10 play. And the Raiders defense is hit with a big gainer by Denver and John Elway. So after the first quarter of play, as the gun sounds, it's 7-3 Los Angeles.
Get it done. Here's Derek Russell. They've got 6 defensive backs on the field, the Raiders do, but Russell comes wide open. Somebody didn't get the message on what the coverage was. The linebacker lets him go. That's not supposed to happen.
Broncos took it down the field on a long drive but had to settle for a field goal. Now to the 20-yard pitch and catch. John Elway upfield. It's 1st and 10. Here's the handoff from Gaston Green. So quick at 190 pounds. He is the fastest Bronco also. Timed at the combine coming out of UCLA at 4.2. Doesn't think he's lost any of it as we check the Cannon 10-minute ticker. Bills go to 9-1. Redskins a perfect 10-0. Philadelphia on a late touchdown pass by Jim McMahon wins at Cleveland after they were way behind early. I think it was 23-0 early. On 2nd down and 4, Elway checks the Raider defense. They bring the outside backers up. Gaston Green cuts back inside, and he runs for a Bronco first down.
As you look at Gaston Green, with Bobby Humphrey in the long holdout, you can see what these two guys have done. Greg Lewis and Gaston Green have rushed for more yards than Bobby Humphrey did last year through 9 games, a better per carry average, and 1 more touchdown. So they've not lost anything in running the ball in 1991.
From midfield, a first down carry. This is the standout rookie from the University of Washington, Greg Lewis, who in his last start against the Pittsburgh Steelers last Sunday night rushed for 111 yards. Defensive tackle Scott Davis makes the stop. Reminder, at the conclusion of today's game, we'll be presenting the Avis We Try Harder Award, which will be given to the game's MVP. Greg Lewis, a 5th-round draft choice. He was the standout back in the Pac-10 last season.
Wasn't at the conference in rushing by a bunch.
You pointed out, Trump, the Broncos had a terrific draft. Reeves said that's one of the good things, if there's any, about finishing 5-11. You have guys like Mike Kroll with the 4th pick in the 1st round. Elway on 2nd down rolls out, lets it go long. He's got a man flying for the ball, and the catch is made by another rookie, Derek Russell.
No one marked him down. He gets up and runs in.
It is indeed a Bronco touchdown.
47 yards. Now we've got Red Cashin and part of his crew talking.
They might look at this again to see if he was touched when he was down. It didn't appear that he was, and it was a live play. It's going to go.
Okay, here's the slant run. McDaniel comes up. Russell with great speed breaks inside. Elway puts this right on the money. Anderson inside. No contact. Legal to get up. Normally for rookie receivers, they stay down. Out of college, you're down when you hit the ground.
Knee down is it.
Russell learns quickly. 6 points, 47 yards.
He had no receptions in his first 4 games. He now has 11 in his last 5. 2 for touchdowns.
The officiating crew still talking.
Elway, if it goes, will have his 8th touchdown pass of the season. Against just 3 interceptions. That's fewer than all but 1 team in the NFL.
On the field, the play was ruled dead. It will be 1st and goal.
This is an interesting thing. No one touches him. This is an interesting thing now for replay to review.
It's certainly reviewable under the rules.
I think the only guy who comes close to touching him is Daniel 36.
Now they both
watch his leg, watches. I don't think anybody touched him.
I don't either.
But with the call on the field being down by contact, it's probably going to stay there. Watch 36. Does he make contact with Russell?
Eddie Anderson jumps him. Did he?
I don't think that's enough to overturn it, Don. Cal Lepore is the replay official.
The ball was ruled down at this spot. It's 1st down and goal.
Except Red Cashin says that, but the only thing we saw from the officials was a touchdown signal. No one marked where the ball was down.
Ruling from the sideline we get is that the whistle was blown on the field.
Yeah, right.
So instead of a touch, it's a 1st down at the 10. 1st and goal. Raiders continue to lead 7-3. Taking the ball right up the middle is Gaston Green, again tackled by Scott Davis. And Howie Long.
The problems the Broncos have had inside the 20, that is a huge call. This team has not been a great team in the scoring zone. They're better suited scoring from 47 yards out than they are from the 10-yard line.
In a situation like this, that the Raiders' problems mounted at Kansas City, up 21-10 in the 4th quarter. 3rd and goal from the 6. An interception by Schrader. Run back, and the Chiefs soon after had the lead in the game. Now Elway goes from just outside the 6-yard line, dropping the throw on 2nd down for the Broncos, and he throws it away.
Yeah, he wanted to get it to Greg Lewis, releasing late out of the backfield. But Ricky Ellison, number 50, was all over Greg Lewis. I'm telling you, that could turn out to be a huge play. I saw no official mark the spot where the ball was down by Russell. They both went to the goal line, even though the play from the replay booth was that the whistle had blown.
Raiders have beaten the Broncos the last 4 times they played. And with the help of that call, they continue to lead this game 7-3 when it appeared the Broncos had taken the lead. Here's Elway on 3rd down. He's going to take it up and he's going to take it in.
His 5th rushing touchdown. They got a fight going in the back of the end zone, too.
Just like they like it when these two hook up.
John Elway does the smart thing. He goes to the bench.
One thing you can be sure of when they have a fight early, it's the forerunner of things to come. There will be more.
The best thing about this play is how patient John Elway is with it. Sets back there. Winston Moss, 99, clears off. Eddie Anderson at the goal line tucks the ball away. Torrin Doran makes the contact, but Elway at about 6'3", 220. Big.
John's got some fullback in him. He took on the tacklers and knocked him into the end zone. David Treadwell hits the point after. So we have another lead change, as it's now a 10-7 game.
Beautifully designed, very well executed, and the best thing, Elway shows patience.
Boom.
And he gets it in the end zone like a fullback.
Shows that boom. Big John does it himself. Here's the kickoff by Treadwell. A short spinner. Sam Grady has a problem. Now the Broncos have one as Grady turns it upfield to the outside and goes across the 20-yard line. Run out of bounds by Mike Kroll. So the lead changing hands, as it so often does when these two meet. The Raiders were all lauding the toughness of John Elway and his competitive spirit. That's the thing they remember and admire most about playing the Broncos. But both are pretty open front that they don't like each other.
Yeah, there's no question that this is a serious hatred between the two. And last night in our conversation with the Raiders, you know, the early stages of these two franchises, the Raiders didn't care much about the Broncos. But in the middle 70s, suddenly the Broncos became an arch rival of the Los Angeles Raiders.
Mecklenburg comes on a blitz. Schrader stands in. He's in deep trouble back at the 19-yard line.
Second sack of the day. Holmes gets this one. Interesting thing about the Denver pressure on quarterbacks, 8 different players have sacks. So as an offense, you just can't sit there each week and prepare for the Denver Broncos and say, watch this guy in the blitz. Holmes comes from the right.
Second and down to throw to Tim Brown as he tries to elude the strong safety, and Atwater comes up and gets him. Hit at the 35-yard line. Now we have a moment back to NFL Live in New York. Bob?
All right, Don, signed this week after the Oilers cut Ian Howfield. Al Del Greco kicks 4 field goals today for Houston, including this one in overtime with a chance to win it again, and did, much to Jimmy Johnson's dismay.
That's the first time that the Oilers have beaten the Cowboys at the Astrodome. They hadn't played since '88. Here's a throw and a catch by Roger Craig out to the 35-yard line. He needed to get to the 36.
Depends on the spot.
Oh, a friendly spot, but it's still going to be short. He's short by less than the football.
Archell is saying, wait a minute, come on. He got that first down. Craig releases out of the backfield. Team on the right there. Kroll, 51, is in front. Randy Robbins, 48, right there. He's across that yard marker. I think that's a pretty good spot from where his feet were right there. But short. Big decision here for Art Shell.
This early, probably got it booted. And he's sending out his punter, who's the best in the NFL right now in net yardage, Jeff Gossett. 39 net yards a punt.
There's Ernie Staunton, the defensive line assistant for the defensive assistant for the Denver Broncos.
A Hall of Famer from his playing days with the Steelers. Gossett drops back to his 21-yard line. There's the deep man, Vance Johnson. And who leads the league in haircuts. We'll check that out later in the game when he takes his helmet off. Down to the 14-yard line. The Vance turns it up and is out of bounds at the 20. 9:36 to play in the first half. Elway on a delay gives the ball to Gaston Green. Raiders aren't fooled. First man up to make the play is Anthony Smith along with Scott Davis, and there's a marker down at the line of scrimmage.
Holding offense. Now, Don, I noticed that the Broncos' choice in the running game is a lot of traps.
Holding during the run. Number 68 on the offense. 10 yards, still first down.
Crawford Kerr. You can see the choices by Denver and the fact that they've got already run 24 plays, but 11 passes. Raiders just 4 rushes. 24 plays by the Denver Broncos in a quarter and a half. That's a lot of offense.
Interesting developments elsewhere. San Diego is leading Seattle at San Diego 14-0. Chiefs lead the Rams 14-7. Here's a handoff. The rookie Greg Lewis breaks into open field. And on 1st and 20, he breaks ahead for a 12-yard gain. Does Greg Lewis. 5'10", 214 pounds.
Well, I just said they're using a lot of traps. This is straight ahead blocking. Double and rub by the center and guard. Excellent job by the offensive line up front. Raiders thinking pass on 1st and 20. Able to pick up almost 11.
Lewis leaving the Husky program, graduating perhaps a year before that Coach Don James gets that long-awaited national championship. The unbeaten Huskies certainly in the hunt for it as Gaston Green runs on 2nd down. 2nd and 8 play, and he takes it out close to the 28-yard line with a free safety. Eddie Anderson makes the stop.
Don, we documented at the top of the show one of the Broncos' big worries was 3rd down and long. But to this point in the game, the Broncos have been sensational on 3rd down and long. They're 4 for 4 on 3rd down and long. We are saying 3rd and 7 or more. And Elway's accounted for 72 yards on those 3rd downs. This is 3rd and short. This should be a cakewalk.
In the first meeting against the Raiders, the Broncos managed only 37 yards rushing, less than 2 yards a try. Handoff up the middle. They get some yards this time as Steve Sewell breaks it on 3rd and short. It's a Bronco first down. Ronnie Lott makes the hit.
What the Raiders are doing, Don, is you see one guy behind the line of scrimmage as a linebacker. That's Winston Moss. They get a blocker on him, and there's nobody to account for Steve Sewell or John Elway. You can run up the middle of that nickel and dime front that the Raiders are putting up there.
That was Dave Adolph, the defensive coordinator for the Raiders, that was looking on. Gaston Green breaks it up as they've changed their offensive scheme in the line blocking. A lot of trap blocking by the Broncos. And it's opening up. They're doubling up those tackles. Eddie Anderson again, the last line of defense. The free safety makes the stop.
Watch the block by 33 Perriman. Bam! He hits Greg Townsend. Green runs right behind him. Perriman, an underrated blocker, but did an excellent job there of just pushing Townsend right by the hole. Gaston Green easily picks up the yards.
He's averaging 6 yards a carry.
47 yards on 8 carries.
Green on 2nd and short. He's ahead. Powers his way for a first down. Middle linebacker Ricky Ellison, Bob Golick, Eddie Anderson on the stop. But it's another Bronco first down. The Broncos are unbeaten at home this year. They're 5-0 here at Mile High under Coach Reeves and 7-0 over the last two seasons.
The Raiders defensive line is getting pushed back off the ball here. That's not something you normally see in a Raider performance. Golick, Townsend, Davis, Long, they hold that line of scrimmage very well.
Raiders really in a 5-man front. They've got that big outside backer up tight on the left side as Greg Lewis runs, trying to cut back. Golick, a 3-time Pro Bowl player at nose tackle, and here they start up again with Clarence Kay. Clarence Kay particularly dislikes the Raiders. He said he was in 3 fights the first time that he played against them, and that was only part of that fight card that day. Kay said, when it's Raider week, I stay awake in the meetings.
Which is unusual for Clarence Kay. What the Broncos are doing here is using 2 tight ends. You see them both. Johnson 89, Clarence Kay 88. Trying to spread that defensive front out a little bit so there's a little more hole for the running back to run through, Don.
2nd and 7. Whoops. Howie Long makes a big play, gets the block, makes the hit in the backfield, and there's a loss on the play of about 1.5 yards.
That's also the 7th straight run by the Denver Broncos. Long inside everyone. A featured performer in the NFL for a lot of years. The one thing that shocked me in a conversation with Howie Long is he is deathly afraid of flying. A guy who is playing professional football and half your games are on the road, at least 8 weeks of the year, he's uncomfortable.
Not yet of the position to have his own bus, I guess, so he's making the best of it. Here's a throw and a hit.
No flag.
Field says he was popped before the ball came in, but the official says no.
Jerry McDaniel was right there. That was a 3rd and long, and the first one the Broncos have missed. He just runs a little flat pattern. The Raiders come with the blitz. He's the hot receiver.
Oh, he was hit.
No question.
He was hit.
No flag.
A great second look. Our producer today for NBC Sports is Victor Frank. Our director, Richard Klein. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Terry O'Neill. As Horan drops back to punt now for the Broncos, and the deep man for the Raiders is Tim Brown, 1987 Heisman Trophy winner. Ball's hit downfield. It takes a big Bronco hop, and it'll jump out of bounds. Inside, it appears, the 10-yard line. As you see, the Broncos with a 3-point lead. Raiders only score on a Marcus Allen touchdown pass to Andrew Glover. Raiders go to the run, and Big Steve Smith, normally a blocker, but per carry average, his is the best on the Raiders, 4.7.
And you see the pushing and shoving. I mean, the guy in a Raider uniform just can't see a Bronco without shoving him.
Check the Canon 10-minute ticker. Big Art Shell was saying yesterday, we know they don't like us. It's not just them. It's the 76,000 people sitting there that don't like us, and we're not particularly fond of them.
Yeah, but that's true around the league. There's a genuine dislike of the Los Angeles Raiders franchise. Wherever they go, people don't like them because they win.
They sell out also. Well, they sell out here. 2 high schools were playing. This is a rabid football town. The 22nd year of Broncos sellouts. Dump off to Tim Brown, but before he can kick in his speed, he's taken down by Michael Brooks.
That ball couldn't have traveled 1.5 yards. I think he caught that ball behind the line of scrimmage.
Raiders' options are reduced every play by the speed and the Bronco pass rush.
They try to run Tim Brown on a little delay across the middle, and Schrader is flushed somewhat and ends up being, what did he gain, 1.5 foot maybe on that pass completion?
Broncos with a big advantage in total yards. Bronco defense has held 8 of the 9 opponents under 20 points this season. The one team that scored big was Houston. Oilers scored 42 and blowing out the Broncos. Here's a throw and a drop. Ethan Horton, the ball put right where it needed to be. And now the Raiders have to punt from deep in their own end. And Elway and the Broncos with 2:34 to play in the first half should get good field position.
On the left-hand side of the screen, watch 48. Randy Robbins has the coverage. He's all over Ethan Horton. It looks like Schrader's tight end Ethan Horton all the way. You're right. Should have caught that one. Another one of those Raider tight ends who used to be running backs. Along the lines of Billy Cannon, Todd Christensen, they like converting those guys to tight ends.
The Raider fans know Ethan Horton was the #1 draft choice out of North Carolina, Kansas City a few years ago as a running back. They cut him.
Look at this kick.
Booming kick to Vance Johnson. Candler blocker sets up, and then the Raiders hem him in and knock him down at the 43-yard line of Los Angeles. A 51-yard punt and a 6-yard return. 2:23 to go at Mile High Stadium with Bob Trumpy. This is Don Criqui as the Denver Broncos, a 5-11 and last place team a season ago, the comeback team of the year in the NFL at 7-2, riding a 3-game win streak. And John Elway, strong right arm. It has to be strong. He's carried this franchise for the 9 years he's been here. His run up the middle gave the Broncos a go-ahead touchdown after the Raiders had taken a 7-3 lead. Markers go down all over, and the play is whistled dead as Elway starts to roll out.
Yeah, he's going to throw deep. Here's Red cashing with the call. That's defense.
False start.
It's offense.
Before the snap, number 88 of the offense, still first down.
That's Clarence Kay, the tight end. He's right there in front of Winston Moss. Yes, comes out of his stance. 1st and 15. That time of possession in the second quarter by the Broncos. Great rushing yards for the Broncos. In the first game, they couldn't run a lick. But in this game, in the first half, and primarily in the second quarter, really run the ball very, very well.
They have. Straight up the middle, they've been doing it, too. Not trying to turn it upfield on those swift outside backers of the Raiders. John Elway now gets his tight end line to the right, moving people around. First down and 15. They go to the run. This is the rookie, Greg Lewis. Nothing there. It'll be second down and 15. Scott Davis was a tackler.
Look at the rushing yards for the Broncos. 112 yards in this first half. Sports fact.
Since 1983, only one team other than Denver or the Raiders has won the AFC West. Who and when? The Xerox Sports Fact. The answer to come in a moment. Right now the game clock is down to 2 minutes to play in the first half, and the 2-minute warning is given. Timeout on the field. 7 is the score. Denver in the lead. At Anaheim today, the Rams have come back now and have tied up Kansas City in the second quarter, 14-all. Jim Everett just threw to Henry Ellard for a Ram touchdown. 2nd and 15 for John Elway and the Raiders. Play fake. Here comes the speed to get him. He still has it. It's like a trick play. Incomplete pass.
That's now a late grounding.
Yeah. An expensive penalty for John. It'll be a loss of down. That ain't buying any excuses here.
Nope.
He's heard that before.
Of course, the referee's the only guy who can call the intentional grounding, and Red Cashin took a long look, and that's to avoid the sack. He threw the ball away.
Red with a touch of Texas in his voice. He's from College Station, Texas, the home of the Aggies.
They're trying to roll out here. Watch 93 Townsend. He's right in Elway's face. Elway avoids the first one. And there's no question. Now, the reason Cashin was so late in throwing the flag is he's standing to the right of Elway looking through the quarterback. And when you throw the ball to the right, it's really a blind spot for the referee, but Red Cashin took a long look and watch the... You're going to see Red Cashin out here to the right, I believe. He should come into the picture, and he's got it. There he is. There he is. Now he's watching. He's looking. Anybody downfield? No. That's to avoid the sack. Loss of down. Good call. Red Cashin.
Elway doesn't have the big passing numbers, but they've run so well. He's 4 of 14 throwing the ball for 87 yards. He has run 16 yards for a first down. He's also run for a touchdown. Now he calls a sprint out. Blockers in front. There's the Elway zing. Right to the wrong guy who drops it. McDaniel. Terry McDaniel with the room service interception.
Well, when you're not used to catching the ball from John Elway, it can surprise you. It gets there in a hurry.
As they say, Trump, if they could catch it, they'd be playing offense.
Yes, they would. I don't know who this is intended for. McDaniel is open.
Is he? Is he ever?
But the ball just eats him alive. Boom! It kind of explodes off his shoulder pads there, you know. Watch for the punt block here, Don.
Raiders aligning a 10-man rush, and here it comes.
Blocking, hitting the kicker.
They got the kicker and didn't get the ball. Tim Brown runs it back, but the Broncos are going to get a first down as Mike Horan is still on the field. Raiders took a gamble. It was Elvis Patterson, the best special teams player, who went for the block.
That will be a first down. Although, you know, when you look at this, watch the left-hand side of the screen. Patterson is pushed a little bit, but that's a major collision with the punter, and that should be a first down. That's running into the kicker.
And that's what's going to be the interesting call, what they rule.
Roughing the kicker, number 43 on the defense. First down.
You can hit the kicker accidentally, and it's just a 5-yard penalty and not an automatic first down.
That was pretty blatant.
Look, Elvis Patterson going to Rick Cashin, pleading his case. Moran looks hurt. Well, that, not very smart by Elvis Patterson. I know he wants to help his ball club, but you aim at a spot 3 yards in front of that punter for exactly that reason.
No turnovers so far in the game. Art Shell said if we don't turn it over, we should win. Here's Elway throwing hard. Elway escaped an interception when a ball was dropped a moment ago. Hard throw and a catch taken by Ricky Nattiel.
Al Davis in the press box, he considers that his lucky spot here in Mile High Stadium.
Elway backpedaling at his leisure. Let's go a fastball downfield. A great play by Mark Jackson at the 28-yard line.
Frankly, the Raiders are being a little soft here. That's Torrin Dorn, 46 in coverage. Jackson runs the corner route, 19 yards on the reception. Eddie Anderson bangs him out of bounds. The Raiders are hanging back just a little too much here, Don. They got to be more aggressive in that coverage.
That was a big gamble by the Raiders special teams going for the punt block. On a 4th and 15, a personal foul call resulting in a Denver first down. Now Elway looking to get his team at least into field goal position. 69 ticks left on the first half clock. Long ball. Picked off. Elvis Patterson.
Oh, Ronnie Lott.
Ronnie Lott's the man who comes up with it.
I don't know why he threw that one. Lott's playing center field.
Ronnie Lott makes an all-pro play, his 4th interception of the season.
Gary Lewis has the coverage down the field. This is perfect for Lott. Lott doesn't miss many. All his years. He knows how to catch a John Elway pass. Now you can see his feet at the top of the screen just sitting there waiting. I don't think Elway realized Lott was back there. Nice catch. First turnover of the game. Raiders have the ball.
Lott with some big interceptions and 2 come-from-behind wins over Seattle and the LA Rams. Lott had a total of 3 interceptions, 2 against Seattle. Now what can Jay Schrader do with 63 seconds left? He goes to Marcus Allen, and he runs it out to the 27-yard line. Game clock running. Raiders not stopping the clock. They quickly go into alignment without a huddle.
They have all 3 of their timeouts left, as you'll see there.
Now they call a timeout with 50 seconds to play in the first half. John Elway is having his best season as a Denver Bronco. The man who came out in 1983 out of Stanford as the #1 pick in the draft by the then Baltimore Colts.
That's just his 4th interception of the season.
Only one team in the NFL has thrown fewer, and that's the Cleveland Browns, with Kozar, who set the record today, then was intercepted later after 308 straight passes without an interception. Dating back to last season, the Raiders go to the run on short yardage. Locked down to 42 seconds in running. Got to think that Schrader's going to air it out pretty soon here. He had 3 wide receivers in the game. They're looking deep. He's got a long arm as there is. Here's an open man, and it skips right through the hands of Mervyn Fernandez.
Yeah, the players are having a little trouble with their footing on the field. So a lot of players slip.
It's like a game of the dueling fastballs, Trump.
Yes.
Who can throw it harder?
You can see the turf here, the prescription athletic turf, and Fernandez really didn't have his feet underneath him when he tries to make this catch. Well, he didn't really slip. Schrader is 7-11 for 73 yards. Ethan Horton slipped on that play. Ball thrown high and hard by Jay Schrader.
27 seconds to play in the first half. It is a 10-7 game, Denver. Now the Raiders with an overload. 3 wideouts to the left. Schrader's going to let it go deep. And he throws it right to Bob Golick, who was not in the game.
Right helmet, though.
President and general partner of the Raiders, Al Davis.
Terry Robisky, the tight ends coach, he signals the plays into Schrader. What's the signal for Hail Mary?
Schrader had his best season a season ago with 19 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. Comes into this game with 10 touchdown throws and 11 interceptions. Marcus Allen taken down by Randy Robbins, and now it is the Broncos who are calling a timeout as the Raiders come up short on 3rd down, so the Broncos want to get it back on a punt. Raiders send out their punt team with 14 seconds to play in the first half as we check out the Xerox Sports facts. Only AFC team since '83 to win the AFC West team to win the division was Seattle in 1988. Seattle currently tied up with the Rams at Anaheim. Kansas City tied up with the Rams at Anaheim. Seattle losing at San Diego as the punt by Gossett hit downfield. And the Broncos don't contest it. They had Atwater back. So now with 8 seconds left, we have John Elway coming out with the offense. No doubt to let it rip.
I think they'll probably, I guess you could do that, but I would think you just play it safe here as you look at the Cannon 10-minute ticker. The secret to the first half for the Broncos, of course, has been they've been successful in 3rd down and long, run the ball very well.
Philadelphia and defensive coordinator Bud Carson going back to Cleveland, where he was fired as coach last year and coming from way behind to beat the Browns. You see the Rams and Chiefs now tied at the half. And at the half, San Diego continues to lead the Seattle Seahawks. San Diego, the best losing team around. 5 of their losses by 6 points or less. Gaston Green runs the ball out to the 30, and that will do it for the first 2 quarters of play. So the Broncos, who scored first, then fell behind on the Marcus Allen touchdown pass, come back to take the lead on a John Elway touchdown run. They've dominated play with their running game today, Trump.
And they had 74 yards rushing in the 2nd quarter. The Coors halftime stats. The interesting thing about the Raiders, they have 90 total yards. They got 80 on their 1 scoring drive. So they really have done very little offensively in this first half.
We'll look at the Denver touchdown today. John Elway has outrushed any running back on the L.A. Raider team.
Quarterback draw, beautifully executed. Great patience by John Elway, and then he turns fullback, runs through the tackle of Torin Doran for the score by the Denver Broncos. And here's the Raiders score. It's the pitch back. It goes to Andrew Glover. Well executed, and that's the 4th time in Marcus Allen's career he's thrown for a touchdown. It's the only score for the Raiders in the first half.
Art Shell's Raiders being dominated statistically, but a very close game, as they invariably are, as we pointed out earlier. 11 of the last 16 have been decided by a field goal or less when the Raiders and the Broncos played. 5 of the last 14 have gone to overtime, and Coach Dan Reeves has yet to beat Art Shell since the big guy took over as coach of the Raiders. Shell 4-0 against Denver. Treadwell kicks off. Spinning kick is taken by an upback. This is Smith who runs it, and he crosses the 30-yard line. Steve Smith, and a penalty marker comes in late.
Well, we find out what the penalty is. A comment here about the Raiders' performance in the first half. Holding against the Raiders again. The last game they played was against the Kansas City Chiefs a week ago last
During
Monday.
the run back, number 58 of the receivers, 10 yards, first down at 10.
As I was going to say, the 10-day layoff with the bye week this week for the Raiders, it upsets the program that the professional athlete in football is used to. You play every 7 days, and when you give them 2 weeks off, you come out with a little rust on you. In the first half, the Raiders have been rusty.
Jay Schrader with first and 10 play call. Here comes some Broncos early. Craig in the nose tackle. We'll see if he was drawn off. Might be a illegal procedure against Los Angeles.
Before the snap, false start, number 76 on the offense. 5 yards and it's still first down.
False starts can be a killer. Pittsburgh Steelers lopsided season this year. When they've lost games have been due, they say more than anything else, to false starts. More false starts than NASA, is the way Chuck Noll described it.
Now that was Steve Wright, number 66, the right tackle, but they called Steve Wisniewski. It was several of them.
Handoff. Roger Craig takes on tacklers and keeping those legs piston pumping driving.
Ball loose.
Yes, it is. They're going to rule him down at the 25-yard line, but it did indeed appear to be a free ball rolling along the sideline. Mecklenburg, the tackler, 77.
It's a sweep to the outside again. A great lead block by Steve Smith on Dennis Smith. 35 on 49, and watch Mecklenburg hanging on. His knee was down. Raiders maintain possession, but that's just a 2.5-yard pickup by Roger Craig with a lot of work.
Nightfall beginning to set in here in the Mile High City. 14 minutes to play in the third quarter. Schrader pump faking. They've sacked him twice. This time he delivers a throw to Ethan Horton, and he appears to be ahead for a first down. The spot all important. He needed to get to the 32-yard line. Wyman Henderson tackles him.
Here's Mervyn Fernandez. Tyrone Braxton, 34 in coverage. Again, that double rotation zone. Corners up, safeties out, and Schrader does not see him.
You can be sure that Fernandez will bring it to his attention. He'll look back at it. Fernandez, the former player of the year in the Canadian Football League, when he caught 95 passes for over 1,700 yards.
In our conversation with him last night, I was surprised to hear him say, I asked him, did it take you a while to get used to the more narrow field here in the NFL? And he said, no, I had trouble adjusting to the bump and run tight coverage. In Canada, hey, they let you run down there 3 downs. They play deep.
Crowd starts up, and they can start up big time here at Mile High as the pitch back is to Roger Craig. Good block by Smith, but then the quickness of the Denver defense eludes the blockers, and the tackle is made by Michael Brooks, number 56, who's having really a Pro Bowl year.
And Don, you know, the secret to playing defense is very simple, and that is staying on your feet. This is not a big defense, but it's a very active defense, and they are always on their feet. Brooks, Mecklenburg, Craig in the nose tackle, and if you can pursue down that line of scrimmage on your feet, you're a tackler.
Brooks says he learned to compete early with his older brothers. He's the youngest of 13 children, a Tiger from LSU. Schrader on second down. Throws a strike. This is Ethan Horton running for a first down and some more as he's out to the 48-yard line. Randy Robbins was there, but there's a gain of 13 yards on the play as Schrader Trump is settling into a little bit more of a control passing game, not the deep throws, and making some yardage.
Looks like Mecklenburg gives him a big shove, and then somebody turns him loose. He's wide open out there, and again, this footing on this field not good. It's not that cold.
Now, playing conditions are about perfect. Temperature 40, no precipitation. The lights on the natural grass field of the Broncos. First and 10 Raiders. They trail by 3 in the third quarter. Steve Smith, a power back from Penn State, takes it inside the 45-yard line of Denver, where that sensational young backer Mike Troll made the stop, number 51.
Quite a change up there for the Raiders. Smith, one of the league's best lead blockers, carries the ball, and the lead blocker at that time was Roger Craig. I think the Raiders realize how critical a drive this is. in a game that every one of the Raiders told us last night, this is a critical game.
A Raider defeat, they'd be 5-5 through 10 games and in wild card jeopardy. Nice play call now for Schrader. Second, he needs just over 2. Hand off to Smith. The Raiders' best back, as mentioned earlier, in terms of per carry average, 4.7 coming in. Craig in the nose tackle, a Pro Bowler last January, made the stop.
Excellent running back. His only problem, though, he's not real quick to the line of scrimmage. And great running backs in this league are great in the first 2 or 3 steps to the line of scrimmage. That's his 3rd carry on the day.
You want to see where Roger Craig is going when he gets those pitchbacks. You have only to look at Smith. Few backs use their blockers as well as Roger Craig. He followed Rathman all those years at San Francisco. Tom Rathman, as you see, the Raiders are just short. As we look now at the Hertz 10-minute ticker. KC and the Rams tied up 14-all in the 3rd quarter. Seattle continues to trail at San Diego in the 3rd quarter, 14-0. The Giants, the defending Super Bowl champions, under fire in their home area, leading Phoenix. And here at Mile High, Denver holding to a 10-7 lead, but the Raiders driving here in the 3rd quarter. Third and short. Steve Smith with the first down, but it's going to come back. Steve Smith is heading for the end zone, and he will take it in, but the play is coming back. A flag was thrown in by the umpire. Looking at the Raider offense, a 43-yard touchdown run is negated and a holding call. Starts to hurt the Big Art Shell.
Holding during the run by the offense. 10 yards, still 3rd down.
I didn't get the number, did you? Art Shell is asking, who'd you call it on? There's Kim Helton, the offensive line coach. They want to know who.
We're going to hear shortly. Maybe we're not.
Well, he's not quick to the line of scrimmage, but once through the line of scrimmage, Steve Smith shows good speed there. Nice assist there by Mervin Fernandez, but it's all coming back. 3rd and 10.
They're calling penalties, but they're not taking numbers. No announcement of a guilty party. Looked like it might have been a leg whip by a Raider lineman. Here's a second Raider, Mike Crowell. Kroll, the AFC leader, with his 9th sack of the season, a rookie.
Watch what he does. Here he is right here, but he moves out here to rush against the quarterback. Broncos have done a great job of making sure that Kroll is not locked up with any tackles. He comes untouched to get the Broncos' 3rd sack of the day. His 8th sack of the season. Make that 9th sack of the season.
Yes, right. His 9th sack of the season, the leader in the American Conference. NFL leader is Pat Swilling of the New Orleans Saints. He started the day with 11.5. Mike Kroll, a cornerstone already of the Denver defense, a defense built on speed, and he has it aplenty with his 9th sack to lead the AFC. He won in each of his last 6 games. 4th player picked in the last draft, as Dan Reeves said. One of the good things that came out of a 5-11 season was Mike Kroll. You don't get him if you're a big winner.
He has paid dividends, hasn't he?
And he'll continue to. And he's a very good pass cover, so they're not sure if he's going to cover or blitz. Give it to you both ways on defense as Gaston Green runs on first down and gains about 3 out to the 20. Middle of the Raider defense, Golick, Long, and Scott Davis on the stop.
Let's watch that run by Steve Smith. There's holding somewhere in here. We have yet to hear who it was. Looks like it might be the left tackle. He had his arms wrapped around 96 Kenny Walker. Ethan Horton was also there. The umpire calls it. Normally the side judge is looking at the tight end. The umpire usually looks at the tackle. I bet it's on the offensive left tackle.
They never called a number. But it did negate a 43-yard touchdown run by Steve Smith, and the Broncos continue to lead the game, and now they go to the run as Gaston Green finds to turn it upfield. Gets to the 20-yard line. The Denver Broncos' ability to run the ball, and the Raider defense has been a very big part of their success today when they could not run at all at the Coliseum in September when they lost 16-13 to the Raiders.
Here comes the shotgun formation, which also includes Harvey Salem at the offensive left tackle. On the Broncos sideline, there's 9 offensive players that kind of collect around Dan Reeves, and then he sends any group. There they are. Reeves is in the middle. Any one of those guys can be in on the next play, so they're all standing up there the whole game.
Elway on third down. Here comes Howie Long. He eludes him, gets it away, and makes the connection to super fast Ricky Natillo, who's out to the 40. And on 3rd and 5, the Broncos get 19 yards and a first down.
You just can't coach what Elway does here. Natillo runs the pattern on Lewis. It looks like the key area of a basketball court. But did you see the move by John Elway when he was flushed out of the pocket? Now watch what he does. Who is it that? It's Howie Long. He just freezes him for a second, and still with the strength of arm able to make the completion. One of the most difficult quarterbacks in the league to defense.
And nobody will affirm that more than the Raiders. I have high admiration for John Elway as the rookie Greg Lewis runs right at the Raiders on a first down carry out to the 43-yard line. Got 3. Scott Davis on yet another tackle along with Bob Golick.
Now that last play, there's so much frustration when you play John Elway at quarterback. There have been at least 3 times where a defensive player has had Elway squarely in his sights, and they have not been able to come up with a sack yet today. There's the man that leads the Raiders in sacks, and he's got his crosshairs on John Elway.
Elway with a career rushing average of 4.8. Howie Long said somebody move. See what the side judge says as he runs in.
Well, one of the secrets is getting off the ball in a hurry.
False start. Number 72 of the offense. 5 yards, still second down.
Call it on the center, Keith Karts. See if he moves the football. Well, Elway pushes him. They should call that on Elway. Elway just shoves him out of his stance, but they call it on Karts.
Howie Long having another terrific season for the Raiders, and he's quick to compliment his defensive line coach Earl Leggett. Howie says, if I go to the Pro Bowl this year, I'm bringing Earl and his wife with me.
Let's go, keep
Art Shell, just with such great praise for Earl Leggett. He said he'll take a player with raw ability and turn him into a Pro Bowl player. He's done it with Long, and he's done it with Greg Townsend. Elway in trouble, and they get him. The first sack for the Raider defense of this day, and Steve Sewell starts up.
Anthony Smith is the man with the sack. Let me continue on that story about Earl Leggett. Left the Los Angeles Raiders. There's Earl. Came to Denver. Art Shell said, I want him back. And I asked Art last night, why? And he said, when I was playing, Leggett and I used to talk about pass protection. He'd tell me defensively what he'd do against my moves offensively. And he also said Leggett was the guy who got Art Shell to talk to Al Davis about becoming the head coach of the Raiders. There are a lot of people on this team who have great respect for Earl Leggett.
And Art said, now I'm talking to Earl about thinking about being a head coach. I think he'd be a very good one. Leggett, a former Chicago Bear. Here's Elway on the run. Linebacker coming. He throws crossfield. It comes in on the 1-hop to rookie Derek Russell. So now Horan is out to boom the ball, and he can do that. The punter for the Denver Broncos with 6:54 to play in the third quarter. And the Broncos continue to lead the game as they did at halftime, 10-7. Tim Brown goes back for the Raiders.
They need a big return here from Tim Brown. Get some good field position, some life here to the Raiders.
He's one of the AFC's best this season returning punts, averaging over 12 yards a return. Horan steps in quickly. Remember how he was fouled earlier. Penalty marker comes in as Brown fair catches the ball.
That's going to be on Denver. Yep. It's the man who is blocking Elvis Patterson who ran into the punter. I think it was Steve Sewell who was the in man on the line. Well, let me correct myself. I don't think it was Steve Sewell. It was the man on the line of scrimmage. It's holding against Denver, and they're going to make him punt it again.
It was a 42-yard punt, and as you saw, no return. Clock is stopped with 6:46 left to go in the third quarter.
Holding, number 30 of the kicking team, 10 yards, still 4th down.
Steve Sewell.
Yeah, it was Steve Sewell. He's up on the line of scrimmage. He's right here. Patterson comes to the outside, and watch what Sewell does to him. As Patterson gets around him, he just pulls him down. That's an excellent call. Make him cover that punt again.
So again, Tim Brown drops, but this time the Raiders could come out of it with very good field position as he is standing at the Raiders' 40-yard line. Wind not a factor. Flags are dead. Hanging straight down is Tim Brown, the Heisman Trophy winner from Notre Dame. With breakaway speed and then the moves to beat that front line of tacklers. Waits for the kick from Haran. Line drive, very short, be tough to field. And it takes a hop out of bounds, but it's a Raider break as the ball goes out of bounds at the Los Angeles 48-yard line. Just a 33-yard punt. Night begins to fall here in Denver, Colorado. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy. Denver Broncos dominating this game in time of possession and total yardage with 19 more offensive plays, Trump, with the Raiders right in it.
Yeah, they got their best field position of the day here. And again, we had a critical drive before, negated by that penalty on the touchdown run by Steve Smith. Now, Raiders, they're down to very few chances left.
Here's Roger Craig, looking like the Pro Bowl Roger Craig of 49er fame as he runs it on first down for 13 yards. And the much bigger Raider offensive front might be wearing down the Denver defenders a bit.
That's just the 28th offensive play that the Raiders have had to this point in the game. And with the new timing system in the NFL, you don't have many more chances. Fernandez, just 86, does a nice job of blocking there.
Roger Craig looking good as again he breaks into the secondary. Michael Brooks finally comes up and gets him along with Mike Kroll.
Don, I think your point about this big offensive line of the Los Angeles Raiders is a valid one. At some point, if they can control the line of scrimmage, they begin to wear down defenses. And as we've said earlier, this is not a particularly big Denver defense. They're strong, but they're not big.
Al Davis always a proponent. You ain't got size up front, you ain't got nothing. Raiders always with huge offensive and defensive lines. Smith on 2nd and 5, got a couple down close to the 33-yard line. Clock ticks down to 5:10 to play. Greg Craig in the nose tackle, first man to make the hit. We look again at the Hertz 10-minute ticker. Kansas City now has taken a lead over the LA Rams. And San Diego continues to lead Seattle. The Seahawks and the Raiders started the day both 5-4 in the AFC West. Denver makes a load of defensive substitutions. 3rd down and 2 comes up for the Raiders. Tim Brown in an end around, and he whips inside the 25-yard line and almost breaks it. Randy Robbins, 48, finally got him, but on 3rd and 2, Tim Brown gains 10 and a first down for Los Angeles.
We don't keep official stats on shoving matches, do we?
We're going for the bonus here if we are.
I think we're in double figures. Excellent call here. Watch the blocking down. This is almost the Washington Redskins counter, only this time they put a little college in it. They give it to the wingback, Tim Brown. He picks up 10 yards. Saving tackle there by Randy Robbins. And the Raiders, even though they've not played particularly well today, only their best chance right now.
Schrader looks deep on first down. He turns out at Tim Brown. This will be a touchdown for Los Angeles, and they take the lead. 23 yards.
Wyman Henderson was the man in coverage.
Jay Schrader makes the big throw. as a Denver defender thought interception for a moment, and Tim Brown just stood there, fielded it with both hands, and at his leisure walked in for the go-ahead score.
Now there you see the matchup. This is not a particularly great move by Tim Brown, just an out. Henderson slips again. I mentioned in the first half that the footing was not very good here. I mean, he just waltzes into the end zone like nobody's business.
New game, same old story. Raiders and Broncos as the lead goes back and forth. 3:42 to play in the third quarter. And now Los Angeles looks to extend its lead to 14-10. Jaeger from the University of Washington, one of the NFL's best. He'll set a Raider record this season in field goals. But on the extra point, we had a penalty marker down front. Extra point was good.
Now this is just a simple square out by Jay Schrader. They got a penalty against the Raiders on the extra point.
Holding during the kick. Number 41 of the offense. Point's no good. We'll replay after a 10-yard penalty. Try for the point.
Napoleon McCallum called for the hold, as Coach Shell knows this is a enormous extra point. If good, it gives the Raiders a 4-point lead, and the Broncos have to score a touchdown. They could tie it with a field goal if it's missed. Jaeger with 21 field goals already this season, the most in the NFL, and just too short of George Blanda's regular season record as a Raider set years ago. Great job by the holder, Jeff Gossett. Took a hard, high snap and gave a perfect set for Jaeger. And the Raiders are back in front.
Man, he comes here. It draws the underneath coverage here. And then here's where the touchdown takes place. Basically, an out pattern. But the motion man does draw the linebacker to him just enough for Schrader to get the ball in there. Henderson can't knock the ball away from Tim Brown. In your face for 6 points. 5 plays, 52 yards.
Brown's second touchdown reception of the year as Jaeger kicks off a sidewinder, hops down to the goal line, and the rookie Derek Russell brings it back for the Broncos. Fighting people at the 21-yard line, and that's where John Elway and the Bronco offense will go 1st and 10. Napoleon McCallum on special teams tackle for Los Angeles. A 23-yard touchdown throw. Jay Schrader to Tim Brown gives the Raiders the lead. Here's Elway on 1st down. All he's got, picked off by Anderson. So yo for Eddie Anderson. Mark Jackson was the intended receiver, as Anderson, who's in there as an enforcer and a hitter, plays that great center field.
That's 2 interceptions thrown today by John Elway. And boy, there was great coverage here on Jackson. Washington is step for step with Mark Jackson, and then inside Andy Anderson comes. That, I would call that throwing the ball into a crowd. Not a particularly good choice by John Elway. Now on the rollout, you do not have many people in the pattern, but this is coverage. Excellent coverage. Boy, does this add to the momentum of the Los Angeles Raiders.
They start now from their 40 and go to the run. Roger Craig follows the blockers, and he works his way out to the 47-yard line. A 1st down carry, good for 7. Wyman Henderson, the right cornerback, was the tackler for Denver.
Don, if you look at the statistics, with the exception of those 2 interceptions, the Denver Broncos own the clock, they own the yardage, and they're trailing, and they've just given the Los Angeles Raiders, again, great field position, and their chance to score on 2 straight drives now in this second half.
Roger Craig. Penalty marker also. Warren Powers, number 91, was the man who shot the gap and got Craig in the backfield.
Well, that's double jeopardy. Lose yards and a holding call. Back judge watches tight ends.
You would know that, having been
I hated them.
victimized by their flags.
I hated them. Sweep near side. You've got both tight ends there, Glover and Horton, 87 and 88.
During the run, holding number 88 on the offense. That penalty is declined. It's 3rd down.
Who's that penalty on? A tight end, Ethan Horton. Those back judges, I'm telling you. They try to double team Kroll. And there you see Ethan Horton pulling down Wyman Henderson. Should be no doubt on that.
I'll tell you, Mile High Stadium is one great place to see a football game. Everybody should get a chance to experience it. It's unbelievable.
Here comes the blitz. Watch Kroll, far side.
I can't hear you. Here is Jay Schrader. Tip ball. And the Raiders have to punt.
Looked like Simon Fletcher got his hand up, Don. But again, they tried to trick him. They put Kroll out on the outside. Fletcher rushes from the inside and see Kroll on the right. No, it's Carl Mecklenburg, 77. We said 73. It's Carl Mecklenburg, 77.
One of the best, Carl Mecklenburg. The man who been a 4-time Pro Bowl player after coming in the 12th round of the draft. They said I was too small to be a down lineman, too slow to be a linebacker. He's been a tremendous linebacker. Gossett gets a high spiral downfield, kicking away from Vance Johnson, and it takes a hop inside the 5-yard line. Out of bounds at the 1.
Oh!
Well, they'll high-five that.
First and 98 after a 55-yard punt.
Probably the punt of the year. 55 yards, out of bounds at the 1-yard line.
Goodness. This kid does a great job of position punting, kicking it away from the returner. You'd think this was the Coliseum with that bounce. My goodness.
The NFL's leading punter with maybe his best hit of the year from Eastern Illinois, Jeff Gossett.
Boy, is that a huge play.
Elway and the Broncos start out in jail. First and 10 at their 1-yard line. Watch the Raiders come now. Here's the blitz. Ellison shoots. Play ball. Raiders have it. 3-yard line.
Third turnover for the Raiders today.
Eddie Anderson.
They give it to the upback. I think it's Perriman on the carry, Don. 33 carries it, 33 recovers it. I mean, there's so little you can do offensively. That is Perriman. Who makes the penetration? Ellison? Number 50 makes the penetration, yeah.
That's a run blitz on a down in yardage like that. And did it pay off? So the Raiders have turned this game quickly, hoping to put the knockout punch on, although there's a long way to go. We still have 2:01 to go in the third quarter.
What did Art Shell tell us last night?
Yep, he said if we don't turn it over, we'll win. So far, the Raiders have not turned it over. Denver has done it 3 times. This is a critical one. Smith and Marcus Allen are the running backs. Willie Gault comes in the game.
What are we doing here? I think they're going to have a replay look at this.
See if his knee was down.
On the field, the play is ruled as a fumble and recovery by the defense.
Whoops, wait a minute. Wait a minute. His butt was on the ground. The Broncos are going to get this ball back. That is a perfect picture.
There's a man making his pronouncement with no reservation. They'll get it back, you say.
Look at Art Shell. I don't think there's any way in the world that the Raiders are going to keep this ball. Ellison makes the hit. Butt down, ball out.
That's right.
A butt is 2 feet. 2 cheeks is 2 feet in the NFL.
That's it. Whatever's fair, that's what they'll try to decide now.
Cal Lepore in the booth right next to us looking at it.
Al Locasell, the executive assistant, sitting next to Al Davis.
This is where they put the replay in. Limited use of instant replay. This place is going to erupt, in my opinion.
The Raiders are the only AFC team to win the Super Bowl since the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the LA Rams at the conclusion of the '79 season. And the Raiders are the only team who appeared in the Super Bowl in the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
I hear a smattering of boos here in Bronco Stadium. They should stop it. Give this guy as much time as possible to make the decision. Again, perfect picture where his butt is down. He still has the ball.
Well, he's got part of it anyway.
Part of it's enough. I think we're going to have an overturned play.
Now Red Cashin's about to say, upon further review
by the replay official, the play stands.
Whoa! On what grounds?
The ball was coming out when he was going down, apparently.
Coming out is not out.
Inconclusive.
Goodness.
Smith drives ahead for 2 yards after he was stuck hard.
I have this comment to make. If that last replay we had of the fumble, if that's inconclusive, what exactly is conclusive?
Well, I'm going to work on that, but I guess they felt that the ball was coming out.
Well, that one's going to be written and talked about a lot.
Point blank range for the Raiders now. 2nd and goal from a yard away. Play fake. And Schrader sees nobody open and does the right thing. He throws it away. Atwater was coming on a safety blitz and almost got Jay Schrader.
Good play action fake, but the man out in the pattern, which is Ethan Horton, he's covered all the way. Very unusual that a quarterback turn his back to the line of scrimmage at point blank range here. Here's Ethan Horton. Watch the coverage. Dennis Smith all over him. He's basically the only man in the pattern.
Big down now. 1:17 to go, 3rd quarter. Raiders lead at 14-10. They have 3rd and goal from the 1. Smith, he didn't get there. Mecklenburg, after Smith was slowed, sticks him and knocks him back.
He wasn't even close, Don.
So Shea was also on the stop. He was the first tackler. Then Mecklenburg finished him off.
Great job by the Denver Bronco defensive line. There was no place for Smith to go. And actually, Mecklenburg comes very late to stop this. Watch the pennant stand. Everybody up at the line of scrimmage. Look how late Mecklenburg is in there to make the contact. Great.
Submarining the play. So the goal line defense of the Denver Broncos makes the big play. Don Shula once said, nothing turns a game like a goal line stand. They will get a chance of 3. And Jaeger hits a 19-yard field goal with 47 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. And the Raiders build their lead to 7 points, but not to 11.
Well, the fumble by Robert Perriman that was ruled inconclusive. It was not overturned by the replay booth. And here again is the fumble. It's inconclusive as to whether or not he's down. Coming out is not out. I'm shocked that that was not returned to the Denver Broncos, but the defense saves Perriman, allowing the Raiders only 3 points. That's 4 shots from point blank range that the Raiders cannot get into the end zone. Coming into this season, they thought they would have a great offensive line and be able to run on anybody. And frankly, throughout this 1991 season, if there's been a failure of this team, it's the offensive line. It's not really controlled the line of scrimmage like the Raiders expected it would.
No, it has not. Earl Leggett, the defensive line coach, one of his best products is his own son, former Trojan at USC, who's now playing for the New Orleans Saints in their defensive line.
What a change, first half to second half.
Offensive line.
Like they changed uniforms, went out, played each other's offense.
Jaeger booms a kick off Derek Russell, the rookie, lets it go out of the end zone. John Elway, who career is 5-10 against the Raiders as a starting quarterback, gets set to lead the Los Angeles Denver offense out against the Los Angeles defense. Here comes Elway. Kansas City holding to a 6-point lead on the Rams at Anaheim in the 4th quarter. San Diego continues to lead Seattle in the 4th quarter at San Diego. Giants are up by 14 at Phoenix. Bowl pass rusher said, Elway, we fear him late in the game. He comes back to get you so many times. Denver runs the ball, and Greg Lewis, number 41, is the man. First-year player. Third quarter winding out.
Eddie Anderson that time makes the tackle again. The double tight end offense by the Broncos trying to stretch that defense just as much as they can to give their running backs a little more space tackle to tackle.
Denver's roster with an infusion of new talent this year. 9 first-year players, 7 draft choices, and 2 free agents after that 5-11 season of a year ago. On 2nd and 5, they go back to the rookie, and he delivers out across the 30. First down, Broncos. And that will do it for the first quarter as the tackle was made by Tom Benson. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. Shootout with the LA Raiders. Dan Reeves certainly a leading candidate for NFL Coach of the Year this season. See how the scoring went. Redwell on the field goal. Then Marcus Allen, the tight end, Andrew Glover. Then Elway ran for a touchdown to give the Broncos back the lead. And then Raiders got it back on the TD throw. Schrader to Tim Brown as Gaston Green runs on first down for Denver. Ricky Ellison and Bob Golick tackled him.
And I have a feeling that John Elway's happy that the third quarter ended here today. Not good at all.
Elway, who gained fame as a high school quarterback at Granada Hills outside Los Angeles. As you see in the third quarter, not a lot happened for John and the Broncos offense after they ran the ball so well in the first half. 123 yards rushing in the first half for the Broncos, who had only 33 in the entire first game against the Raiders. Gaston Green, and he quit. Number 1 draft choice of the Rams. I talked to him yesterday. I said, how come you never played it with the Rams? He said, I really don't think John Robinson wanted me as his number 1 pick. He wanted a big back, and that's what he played.
Well, who's their big back now? Cleveland Gary, the guy that puts it on the ground all the time?
But he is big.
He is big. Yes, there's no question about that. This guy is amazingly fast.
This is his 5th year. And has had far more carries this year than he had in his whole career with the Rams. There goes Gaston Green again, showing his stuff. Inside the 40.
Young man grew up in Los Angeles, told me yesterday in the locker room after a 20-yard game. I asked him, was he a Raider fan? He said, no, actually he was a Pittsburgh Steeler fan and a Dallas Cowboy fan.
But with the winners at that time, huh?
Yes, they were. Nothing wrong with that. Well, the Denver Bronco fans have become a fan of Gaston Green, especially since Bobby Humphrey takes a 97-day vacation.
That's what he's doing today after coming back from an injury. That was a 20-yard run, his best of the day. Back to Gaston Green, both arms on the ball, not looking to turn it over. The Broncos have been guilty of 4 turnovers in this game, the Raiders none. Ronnie Lott, the tackler. As we check Xerox Sports Facts, which NFL team has the best home record over the past decade?
Please. This is kindergarten sports facts here. Come on. Give us something that's a challenge. 7th play of the drive. To this point, all runs by Denver.
That's not Tampa Bay. Here is John Elway throwing a quick out. He's got Gaston Green working on Lott. And Green dives inside the 25-yard line. First down, Denver, a 14-yard play.
Well, this has pretty much been the Gaston Green drive. He is not the primary receiver. Releases out of the backfield. Elway looking downfield. Green out there in the flat. He doesn't catch the ball a lot.
Speaking of Gaston Green and his former team, the Rams have now come back on a Jim Everett pass for a touchdown in the fourth quarter. 7:06 to play, and they have tied Kansas City at Anaheim 20-all. Greg Lewis, the first-year running back, is now a line behind Elway. John Elway rolling out, looking for the sideline, and he bails out. Some big Raiders were looking to do him some harm.
Howie Long, McDaniel, Winston Moss. The
answer to the sports facts, the NFL's best home record over the past decade right here in Denver. The Broncos with 77% wins.
If you didn't get that one, go to the back of the class.
And with that home field dominance, they, of course, have been a Super Bowl team 3 times. Under Dan Reeves, 4 times overall. They went once under Red Miller. Red's now a stockbroker here in Denver. Less hectic. Maybe not. Here's a handoff to Greg Lewis as he goes inside the 20 down to the 19. Bring up 3rd down and almost 5.
See that 5-10 record against the Raiders. You said that earlier. They have harassed, sacked, chased John Elway all over the field in those 15 games. The shotgun formation is in. The situation substitution left tackle Harvey Salem in there.
Elway with the great attribute of a winner. When the heat's on, he's not afraid. He wants the whole thing put on his shoulders. Now he hands to Sewell, and on the quick hitter up the middle, Sewell takes it to the 14-yard line. Greg Townsend saved the touchdown.
Well, that play has worked. Elway scores on that play to draw up the middle. Watch again. Watch Winston Moss, 99. So he's on the blitz. He's responsible for Sewell. They hand it to him on the draw, and he's right up there. Eddie Anderson and Townsend make the tackle, but not before he picks up the first down yardage.
11th play of the drive coming up now. Raiders and the Broncos. You always expect a good game. Invariably, you get one. This one may be better than advertised as Denver looks for the tying touchdown. Gaston Green, quick to the outside and down to the 11-yard line. On 1st and 10, he got 4.
Great move by Gaston Green, just putting a hesitation in the pursuit. He takes a little dip inside, and it stops everybody almost in their tracks. Well, that's the stuff you can't coach. Watch what happens here. Watch this little move inside. Watch, see Benson steps up there. Ellison stops for a split second, and then Green has the speed to get outside Ellison and light on the tackle, and he picks up 4. Boy, you can't coach that in a running back. They're either born with it or they never get it.
Inside the 20 today. 2 times, 1 touchdown, 1 field goal, 9:22 to play in the game. Handoff protecting the ball very well is Gaston Green. I like what O.J. Simpson once said about running backs. It's not an acquired skill. You either have it or you don't.
Well, you should know he had it. He had all that you can pack in one person. Well, now, here again is this formation that the Raiders have had great luck with. Draws up the middle, and the Raiders come with the same defense. Let's see how this plays out.
Dave Adolph and his defense facing the brunt now of Denver attackers. John Elway leading that attack, and now Elway wants to talk this over. A very important play called 3rd down and 6.
Raiders changed up their defense.
So while Elway comes to the sidelines to talk it over, there's a timeout.
Well, they've changed that, Don. There's the touchdown, but what they do is they fine him, but there's no penalty for the demonstration. That's the change in the rule. That's $1,000 out of Vance's pocket.
That's less expensive than the penalty. Here's the block. Is that huge? There'll be no overtime. It's 17-16. The Raiders hold their lead. Scott Davis shot through. We'll look on replay to make sure that we get the right man's hand. Coach Reeves can't believe all that.
In disbelief. Here's the touchdown. Vance Johnson in the backfield runs a little circle route. Defense is not good enough. Well thrown by Elway in the end zone. 6 points. Only 6 points. The blocked extra point by Scott Davis. We'll show you that after the kick.
John Elway's cannon arm, the equalizer until the extra point was blocked. Little squib kick. I don't know if he intended to do that, but Steve Smith fields it beautifully coming to the sideline. Let's watch the block now by the Raider defense.
Right up the middle, number 70, Scott Davis, 6'7½". Gets a little penetration, left hand up in the air.
Oh, he got it flush.
Yes, he did. Huge play.
The Raiders trying to come off the ropes. They were knocked back emotionally by a game at Kansas City their last time out before the week off, which Archell described as not a loss but a gift. We gave it away. Now we've got to summon it, get back up and play like Raiders. They've been doing that as Roger Craig breaks the crust and runs out to the 36-yard line on a first down carry. Our own Braxton, number 34, a cornerback, came over to tackle him as Roger Craig is starting to pick it up a notch with the game on the line.
Now that missed extra point by Denver, their first missed extra point of the year.
Roger having a good day.
Most of those yards by Craig have come in the second half too, Don.
Of 16 by a field goal or less. And the Raiders and the Broncos have played. Here's a pitch back. Craig. He is tough. Takes on Atwater, who's a knockout tackler, and Dan Reeves wants a
holding. He wants him to throw the flag on the holding.
Dan Reeves had to admire that touchdown pass of Marcus Allen's. He used to throw him when he was a Dallas Cowboy, the halfback option.
We're going to watch Ethan Horton, the tight end, on Simon Fletcher. I think this is what Dan Reeves was yelling about. No call. Craig now 57 yards on 12 carries. He had 99 yards in the first game.
I don't think I've ever heard more noise from him. The loudest place I've ever been in. Here's Schrader with a throw and a terrific catch by the tight end, Ethan Horton. You'll remember his earlier drop, but he certainly make amends now with a diving reception for an 11-yard gain and a Raider first down.
Randy Robbins was the man in coverage, and man, did Ethan Horton work on that pattern. Goodness. Robbins was all over him. He ran the little delay. He goes outside, comes back inside, and Robbins was right there, but Schrader was right on the money.
A quick ITT 10-minute ticker. Seattle has rallied to tie the Chargers in the fourth quarter. Raiders leading here 17-16. Going to power football on first down. Steve Smith is the runner. The big back from Penn State takes it right at Carl Mecklenburg.
Broncos have 2 timeouts left. Raiders are going to be very, very conservative in their approach here, and Reeves knows how disastrous that missed extra point is. Raiders going to be very slow in their approaching the line of scrimmage, take a lot of time off the clock.
On 2nd and 7, Schrader screens the ball to Steve Smith. Look at the blockers chop down Broncos as Smith gets down to the 36-yard line. About as good as you can run it.
Perfect call. Absolutely perfect call. Broncos are trying to get pressure on Schrader. They can't believe he's going to throw it. Excellent job. Wisniewski 76 out front, the center Mospar.
What blocking.
Well, there are 3 big guys out there in front. McElroy 77. He hangs onto the football, stays in bounds, 14-yard pickup. Clock continues to run. All bad news for the Broncos.
Raiders continue to lead by a point. Week 2. Napoleon McCallum, who led the nation in rushing one year as a running back for the Naval Academy, runs the ball and is tackled by Michael Brooks. 5-yard gain by McCallum, 2nd and 5.
And you know how key that 5-yard gain on the first down is. Now Denver can't call timeout as a defense. If they can get them with a yard gain on that first down, then you can justify calling timeout. The defense has got to save some time on the clock for the offense with 4:35 and clicking left.
The Denver Broncos continue as the NFL's comeback story of the season. 5-11 and last in the division in 1990. 7-2 now, but trailing the Raiders as McCallum takes it over the top. A thunderous hit, and McCallum fights on. First down for the Raiders. Now let's go to New York and Bob Costas. Bob?
Don, just as you had a key missed extra point, ran 23 yards for the score, and Kansas City leads 27-20.
Wow. 3:42 to play in the game. Raiders driving and holding to a 1-point lead. Back to the power to McCallum. And the Broncos try to stuff the run. They knock it down after a gain of 2 or 3 yards. Defensive end Ron Holmes, number 90, was the first hit.
Broncos got to start thinking about calling timeouts on the defense there. You can't look at the end of the game as a 2-minute situation. You got to save your offense as much time as possible.
There's some great Raider games coming up on NBC Sports. Next Sunday they go against Seattle at the Coliseum. December 8th against the Buffalo Bills at the Coliseum. Coach Dan Reeves feeling this is a pivotal game. As you know, the head-to-head tiebreaker. Number 1 is head-to-head competition. The Raiders, we know, have beaten the Broncos twice this season. McCallum down to the 17, maybe the 16-yard line. Gain of 2 or 3 on the play. It brings up 3rd down and short. Warren Powers was on the stop.
Well, they're not calling the timeouts. The Raiders can wait till the 2-minute warning before they run another play.
Both these teams with very effective field goal kickers. Jaeger of the Raiders is the better long field goal kicker. He's 22 of 25 for the season. There's David Treadway. He's been almost as good. David Treadwell, 19 of 24. Marcus Allen. Raiders stop him on 3rd down and call a timeout. They didn't need one. It got down to the 2-minute warning.
I mean, now, wait a minute. This is going to be interesting to see if
they did it at 2:01.
Yeah, if they did it at 2:01. Now they're calling the 2-minute warning. You saw Red Cash, and that's a 2-minute warning.
It's a 2-minute warning.
If they did it at 2:01, of course, they would have gotten a timeout there and another at the 2-minute warning, but this is the 2-minute warning.
We should have figured behind Jaeger. Watch the left hand of Carl Mecklenburg. Gets a little penetration. Blocked.
Now it comes down to John Elway versus the Raider defense. Here's Elway on 1st down by a point. Tip ball, incomplete.
At last drive by the Raiders, 10 plays, 51 yards, no points.
Used up almost 7 minutes of time.
Here's the block once again. Mecklenburg using a little pass rush move there. It's his left hand. Scott Davis blocked the extra point with his left hand.
Carl Mecklenburg, the man who blocked it. David Treadwell's longest of the season. The Denver place kicker is 47 yards. On 2nd and 10, the Raiders dig in. They're sending 6 guys. Here's Elway with Howie Long coming hard on open throw to Ricky Nattiel. He's across the 30 and cut down inbounds at the 32-yard line. A yard short of 1st down as Nattiel sprints back to alignment.
And they had several people open. Raiders can't be too soft here in coverage now. Raiders using 6 defensive backs. Zone deep, man under.
Look at John Elway take it himself to the 35-yard line, and now they call a timeout. 1:19 to play. David Treadwell getting some early congratulations. He hadn't kicked anything yet, though, or not, at least not on this drive. He has earlier in the game. His last extra point drive was blocked. And that is why the Raiders lead the game 17-16. 1:19 to go. The Broncos lead at 17-16.
The Broncos have 1 timeout left, as you see there.
Broncos down by a point. Raiders with a 17-16 lead as Elway stands in.
Oh, he's wide.
Makes the throw, but it's not going to be for much yardage out to the 42-yard line to Michael Young.
Ricky Nattiel was wide open down the field, Don. Wide open.
Time of the essence now. Game clock down inside a minute to play. Second down. They need 3. No catch. He lost the ball at the 41. Did Mark Jackson. But he did stop the clock with 50 seconds to play, and now third down and 3 comes up.
Ask Cleveland how John Elway does in these situations. Jackson across the middle, ball thrown low. Jackson makes that catch if it's waist high.
This game, the outcome could change the face of the season for the winning team. Raiders would go to 6-4 with 2 wins over Denver and be back by 2 games. Denver wins it. The Raiders will be 3 back and 5-5. Here is Mark Jackson running hard for the sideline. He didn't get there. Clock runs. You see it ticking down. 39 seconds to play.
They want to save that last timeout for the field goal attempt. They'll just throw it into the ground. Stops the clock. Well, let's see if they get to the 30. They're in Treadwell's range, right? 30 and 17 is 47.
Well, he's got only 2 of 5 outside the 40.
This is the crossing pattern. Jackson running through all the coverage, but Lott can't get to him. Makes a saving tackle, and Jackson just can't get out of bounds. I'd look for the crossing pattern again.
Our NBC statistician, Ross Schneiderman, totaling the numbers. Elway now 12 for 28, 185 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Another would be fatal. He's on the run. John Elway trying to get to the 12th man, the sideline. And he fumbles out of bounds in his wisdom. And the Raiders protest. Hey, they perfected that art.
Yeah, the rule is in the book because of the Los Angeles Raiders. Boy, the officiating crew over there accosted by the Los Angeles Raiders. Very smart play by John Elway. All that happens is it comes back to the spot where he fumbled it.
Dave the Ghost Casper of Raider fame perfected that one day at San Diego, and they changed the rules.
An underhand throw by Ken Stabler. Pushed forward by Pete Vanasak. Recovered in the end zone by Dave Casper. This is a very... Oh, they're going right back to line of scrimmage. They're saying that he's not out of bounds.
Back to live action now. Elway. Let's see what the ruling. The clock is stopped with 12 seconds to play. They've got to get closer than this, so he has to make this next pass play. And now the Broncos down to 1 timeout.
And it's also 4th down. Well, let's see it. 1 timeout, 4th down at the 37 plus 17, 54 yards. They got to go for the first down, Don.
Kansas City has defeated the Rams 27-20. I'd like to welcome those who've been watching that game. Don Prigge with Bob Trumpy at Mile High Stadium. 4th down for Elway. Game, he has to hit this pass. He does at the first down. And the Broncos call timeout with 6 seconds to play.
47-yard field goal attempt.
What a game. Trumpy, this is why we don't have real jobs.
You know, the only sad thing about this is I wish it were tied so we could see more. This one deserves overtime.
And our thanks to our NBC crew for their terrific work on this game. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Terry O'Neill. Coordinating producer of NFL football, John Paratzis. The producer of today's game, Victor Frank. Director, Richard Klein. Associate Director, Ray Benassi. 6 seconds to play. And it comes down to a final swing of the leg. I wonder if David Treadwell was watching that kid from Notre Dame yesterday.
True. Of course, the last kick by Treadwell blocked by Scott Davis. That one was an extra point.
This will be a 48-yarder. It'll be his longest of the season. Coach Shell is ready to come out there and try to block it.
All right, they're going to try to freeze him. They're going to call a timeout here.
Yep. And the Raiders calmly call a timeout. They have 2 to go. Danny Reeves The man who's brought his Broncos back from a last place finish a season ago. And at the time he said, don't write us off. We weren't that far away at 5-11. And they went right back to the top of the class. Man who's taken 3 teams to the Super Bowl in the 80s and is possibly in line to go on to a divisional title if they can keep their momentum up with a win here. Now, they've got some tough road games coming up, not the least of which next Sunday at Kansas City. This is it. 6 seconds to play. Kubiak is the holder. Treadwell is the kicker. This would be his longest of the season. If he hits it, it'll win the game if it's good. It's blocked. The Raiders win. Penalty marker is down.
Don, that looked like Andrew Glover, the tight end of the Los Angeles Raiders. Here's a call.
But a marker down. For 1 second, the clock has run out. The game can't end on a defensive penalty. It's an offensive Raiders.
Holding number 88. That penalty is declined. Over.
So the Raiders and Coach Art Shell, after their bitter defeat of Kansas City when Shell said we didn't lose it, we gave it away, come back to win at Denver. At 73, Fitzsimmons was in there.
Fitzpatrick, an offensive tackle. He's 6 feet 8 inches tall.
Big ex-Trojan up in the air.
So the last 2 times David Treadwell kicks, a blocked extra point and a blocked field goal.
2 blocks, a PAT and a field goal, and that proves to be in the end the difference as the Los Angeles Raiders beat the Denver Broncos for the 5th consecutive time. Art Shell is now 5-0 against the Broncos.